Hey, welcome everyone to the stream. It's Saturday. I hope you're all having an awesome day so far. Or some of you have just started and some of us it's near the end. But anyway, it's Saturday all over the world just about. And for those who are new here, welcome to the live stream. This is the Geekery. This is where we talk about everything to do with synths, drum machines, sequences, music technology, stupid stuff. Anyway, to welcome everyone who's in the chat, and they're just, which way are they? I always get this wrong. They're there, next to me. I just headbutt them with my head. There's the chatties. There's a big g'day to Xils-labs and 888 Bergs there. Inky, g'day. And obviously we've also got our special guest here as well, so just over to you. Daren, how you going, Daren?
Good day, everybody. Not bad, just a rush job then, quick.
Beautiful.
Oh dear. How's things?
We're good, we're good. Having a normal weekend here. Everyone in the chat can let us know how the audio levels go. We like to use our chatties to, because they're budding audio experts in the chat, aren't they, Daren? So they can just let us know if we're doing anything wrong. Okay, so what is going to happen today on the stream is kind of quite a bit. There's obviously the graphic that you would have seen at the start. You've got to me showing off this. Let's go straight to it, shall we? I'm going to show off this as I promised. So that's the Yamaha AN200. I'm going to use one of those voiceover voices. And this is the AN1X groove box, if you want to call it that. And Daren's going to show off, and he's not going to show it just yet, but I'm just going to show Daren. He's going to show off the MAM MB33, and he's going to join it up next to his TB03, which is the Roland Boutique TB03. So we're going to get to that a bit later. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Hopefully you will enjoy it. But of course, like every week, we have to get stuck straight into our segments. And so I'm going to roll the stinger for the first one. Let's get stuck straight into it. Beautiful. Here we are at the funny side, which I call it. I don't know, maybe it should be called not so funny side. I don't know. Anyway, this is the first one. This is, I don't know if you guys have been watching the interwebs, but there's a lot of these helicopter graphic ones coming out, but I thought this one was good. Hey, it's Ed from Sweetwater. Collab, bro. And so here's your Collabrador. See ya. I just thought it was funny. If you've been following the memes on the interwebs, you'll know that this helicopter graphic it's going crazy right now. So there's the first one. Anyway, let's get stuck straight into the rest. Boom. So this one, it comes with 2 subwoofers. Now that one it wasn't on any music forum. That one I found just on I think it was one of my relatives sent it to me. Thought it was funny. So if you don't get that one, I can explain it to you later. You can tell me in the chat if you don't get it. That looks like a staffy. That breed of dog looks like a staffy. Yeah, nice dog. Anyway, let's keep going. Boom. Here's my session with 50 tracks and 100 plugins on my 2012 13-inch MacBook with 8 gig of RAM. I feel sorry for that motorbike, eh? I think it's like a visual representation of overloading your computer, thinking that it can handle massive amounts of stuff. If you ever get involved in the Akai NPC forums, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, keeping going. Hi, I'm Amanda Lynn. Whoa, me too. That one's an oldie but a goodie, eh? Ah, dearie me. I think we can classify that as a dad joke, that one. Anyway, that is the funny side for the week. Daren, I wouldn't be surprised if you feel like leaving and because of embarrassment right now. They were pretty bad actually this week, weren't they?
No, I like the mandolin one.
The mandolin, yeah. I actually the Labrador one, the Collabrador. I think that's almost a good name for an album. If you grab a whole bunch of musos that are well known, you can call it Collabrador and have a picture of a Labrador on the front. That could be a good one. I think in America that everyone just, if you're a muso, they go, "Oh, I'm a muso too. Do you want a collab?" It's one of those sort of things. I don't know if it happens so much over here. I don't know about your side of the world, Daren. Your dads represent.
Yeah, I suppose. I think, like you say, in America, it's a bit more, let's collab.
Yeah, I don't think it's a term we use. We kind of say let's jam or something. I don't know. I really don't know what we say. I think we just say let's get together.
Let's just make some tunes.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Let's have a few beers. All right. Okay, let's get stuck into the news. Here we go. All right, the news this week. Now, this one is kind of something that you guys may or may not know about. In Japan, Yamaha have got this group called Yamaha Synth. You can visit at yamahasynth.com. But also, if you've got Facebook, you go to Yamaha Synths with an S on the end, following the facebook.com URL. And on tomorrow and on Monday, and there's all different schedules. If you go to that Facebook group, you'll find the info. They're going to be running a really interesting kind of show where they're going to be talking to the synth manufacturers, the engineers. They're going to be talking to musicians and all sorts of stuff. And I think if you can find some time to watch this, there'll be some very, very interesting content in this. I think they're going to be kind of going into some of the design discussions, if that's sort of that engineering side interests you, but there's also going to be music side as well. So they'll be talking about when engineers design things for the musician, they're going to be talking about how they designed it for playability, and Yamaha's all about that, music quality and engineering that side. So that's the first news article, and I think without going into any more detail, you guys can jump on to the websites and have a look at that. But there's going to be, I think there's going to be like 3 or 4 different sessions, and I think the last one is in Japanese, so you don't want to forget about it and get the last one, unless you can speak Japanese, of course, and then it would be okay. But I think the first 2 are going to be in English, so just be careful which one you choose. So that is that. And what else have we got? We have also got this. Okay, I've got a video for this. Okay, so those who know a little bit about Churia, they spent ages talking about their audio fuse, and it took ages for it to come out, and then it finally came out, and I think it kind of, I don't know, you guys in chat can tell me what you think. Do you think Arturia's audio fuse was a success as an audio interface, or do you think it might have maybe missed the mark? I don't know. Anyway, for those who know much about the audio fuse, it has a light pipe connection on the back, or SPDF. If you're from New Zealand, you can pronounce that for me. No one will get that joke at this time of the night. Anyway, they have now just released this 8-channel light pipe box, rack mounted, desk mounted if you want, so that you can plug it into your audio fuse. If you didn't know that you could actually already buy the Behringer one or the Presonus one, and it's probably, I actually don't even know how much this thing is. I'll find out for you in a sec. But anyway, I just want to show you a quick video on this because, and of course I'm not ready to get this video going, am I? Because as always, I'm always behind. Where is my thingamy? Let's go. Wait for the hard drive to boot up. You guys can just look at that pretty picture while I get this video ready for you. Isn't it pretty, marketing pictures? They always look so good. And then when you get the product for real, you kind of don't have the same thing. All right, whenever I launch this thing, it always plays with my mouse. Okay, here we go. Now, where is this? Oh, come on, you're not going to show it, are you? Let me just fix this up. Sorry, guys. It's going to show it now. Yay. There we go. And full screen that. Here we go. And let's see if it plays. This is the product. Plugging into the laptop. There is the unit itself. This is the light pipe. I don't know what that thing is. This is the 8.3, they're calling it. And it's basically USB-C audio interface and a DAT expander. And you can use it with the audio fuse, of course, to expand your audio fuse. It offers 8 channels, as it said right there, because I can read. And a premium analog. I can read, see? You guys can read as well. Anyway, let's pause that because I'm going to make myself look stupid if I haven't already. So there you go. There's the, actually you don't need any free hits from me. But if you do have an audio fuse and you don't have a 8 input light pipe rack thing, you can get that. It offers a few bit more than what the... I've got a Behringer, what do they call it? ADAT, ADA... What is it called? It's right here actually. ADA 8200. And I'm using it with my Presonus setup that I've got here. I've got a Studio 192, which is a USB 3 audio interface. Anyway, the Behringer, actually, I've got a video on my channel. Go check out my channel. You can see it working with the Archery audio fuse. So there you go. There is that. Let's have a quick comment from, let's see what the chatties are saying while we're at it. Let's see, while we're in the middle of news. So, never understood SPDF. Yeah, I think it stands for something. There you go, Barramundi's told us. Sony and Philips digital interface. Looks like Sony and Philips had a bit of a little handshake at one stage. Basically, for those who don't really understand it, all it is optical fiber. So it's digital signals traveling on cable that looks like... This is what an optical fiber cable looks like if you haven't seen one before. Oops, sorry, microphone. See, these things, they kind of look a bit weird. They've got a little weirdy sort of connection on them. Alright. And there's also there's 2 different types. You can use there's like a coaxial one that you can use as well. But that's the SPDF. Yes, anyway, that's what the chatties are saying. Daren, what do you think about SPDF? Do you have any SPDF stuff?
SPDF stuff. Am I loud enough, by the way, because the chat room was saying I was a bit quiet?
You're a bit louder now, yeah, it's better.
Right. The only time I've used SPDIF is on my DVD player, which was plugged into my
stereo system.
soundbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never used it in the studio. The only thing I am using coaxial though.
Yep. On the MX1.
Yeah, from the Yamaha A1V coaxial out into the MX1. That's the only sort of. Everything else is just the good old TSRs or XLR plugs.
And the downside to the MX1 too is you have to change the sampling rate of the whole MX1 to suit just for that digital input. So it'll take 44, 48, and 96.
Yes, which was great because I wasn't sure what my Yamaha was kicking out, and then I thought, well, it's quite old, so it's going to be about 44.1. So
was it?
That's what I changed to.
Oh, okay, so if it works, obviously it must be 44.1. I had a MPC 1000 for those playing along at home who love MPCs. I had one for a while, and that comes out at 48. So that was actually pretty surprising. That thing was doing 48, and then I got rid of it. And I'm actually now just using a digital to audio converter just so I can get 2 more analog inputs into my MX1. There's a video on my channel if you want to know how to do that. All right, let's move along to the next news. Yeah.
More channels.
Two more inputs. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. All right, let's move along to the next.
You know the USB on them?
Yes.
I think they should have inputs where they are as well, so you don't have to use it as input, but you can use it as just instead of USB.
You can. So if you've got a VT3 or a VT4, or anything that takes an external input. So like the System 8 does as well. Actually, any of the boutiques they've got inputs on them as well. So you can actually use those USB channels through another IRA product, or any JDXA, JDXI. I think the Phantoms, the FA synths. There's quite a lot of Roland gear that you can plug into the USB, and it will take an audio input through, and it will pass it straight through. So there you go. All right, moving right along, we're going to get to the next news article because I've got a couple here. Who is into modular? Because I reckon this week we're going to call New Modular Excitement Week. And I'm pretty sure you have to be living under a rock if you haven't heard the news. I think there's two big ones, but let's just tackle each of them on their own. I don't have a video for this because I don't think there's one out yet, or if there isn't, it hasn't made it to my stream in time anyway. Analog Solutions. Analog Solutions, who make awesome modular gear, have made this. They're going to be making this monolith thing. This is incredible, this thing. So if you're into modular synths, let me just tell you a little bit about this. Just give me a second and I will bring it up for you. Okay, so they're gonna call this the EMS 100 inspired synth, and are they calling this the Colossus? I think they're calling this the Colossus. So there you go. Now, just before we go into the specs, this is going to cost £20,000, Darren, and this is not one of those. This hasn't made it to the eBay scam segment. This is going to cost £20,000, but I can tell you why. Because you know, Analog Solutions are a UK company, right? So 12 analog VCOs with 4 waveforms. I'm going to skip a whole bunch of specs, but I'm going to pass on to the really, really big ones. There's sample and hold and random voltage generators. There's an analog CRT. Can you see that just under the logo? That's actually a oscilloscope, a CRT oscilloscope. I don't know, for those who don't know what CRT is, it's the old-fashioned tube-based television screens. All right, how cool is that? That is so cool. Let's talk about going back in the past. You can use VCOs as well as LFOs, and you could actually technically have 16 LFOs on this thing. It has 8 VCFs, 8 filters. Holy crap. 4 of them are multi-mode. 4 of them are 24 dB low pass. You've got 8 combinations of VCA, VCFs. Now, this is where it gets really cool. 4 envelopes with repeat and hold repeat functions. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but repeat's cool, right? The envelope loops. But if you can actually hold it, that is so cool when you can do that. I mean, when I only first discovered that when I started getting into Eurorack. I know it's been around with other stuff, but that was the first time I discovered it. It's awesome. 64-step sequencer, and it's an analog V-gate type clock generator with glide, jump, reset, all that sort of stuff. Plus, it's got a 6-channel audio mixer with level, pan, and mute, 2 joystick controllers, so that kind of gets you into that EMS sort of style. You know, like the Synthy, the VCS3, that sort of stuff, and blah 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 blah. There's if you can see across on the right hand side, you'll see there's actual analog VU meters on the sequencer and the signal meters. That it's really, really old school, this thing. So let's just have a quick look at what the chatties have been saying about it. So yeah, I mean, this is like a car price, this one. So yeah, it's not like in the old days you could get like a synth and you'd have to buy a house with the same money. It's not as bad as that. It's a car version. Okay, I showed you that one. Next one. Speaking of modular, who heard the news from Moog? That is right, Moog have announced a new modular synth, and it's called I think it's called the Moog Modular or Moog Modular 10, without looking at my screen. Where is it? Model 10. There you go. I was close. I said Modular 10. It's Model 10. Model 10 is like a scaled down, cut back version of the 50 and the 30, I think. It's a recreation of the first compact modular that Bob Moog designed in 1971. Good year, 1971, by the way. Included filters, where are we? One 901 voltage controlled oscillator. So it's all based on the 901 oscillator driver, 902 voltage controlled amplifier, random signal generator, low pass filter, filter bank, envelope, 2 envelope generators, a CP11 console panel, and you can also get that keyboard thing below it as a separate thing. Now, price. I love to tell prices. This is $9,950 US dollars. For those playing along at home and think, right, if they're throwing notes at the screen right now, at this, that's how many notes they're going to have to throw at the screen. For that one, wow. I could build something like that for a lot less. But anyway, thanks Moog, looks awesome. Alright, let's go to the last news item. This will make Inky happy because I know she likes the Novation guys. So the news here, this is not a new thing, okay? So this product is not new, just for those getting excited, it's a new Novation controller. No, it's not. This is the Launch Key Mini, which has been around for a while. This is the Mark III that you're seeing on the screen. But what's cool about it is Novation, because they keep releasing firmware updates on their stuff, have just added a new firmware update for this. And it gives you where is the ski? Oh, there's the video, of course. Sorry. Instead of me telling you what it gives you, why don't I show you what it gives you? Let's go to video and press play. Then we'll stop the video there. I was actually having trouble stopping the video with my mouse for a second there. So the whole bunch of new features on the Mark III, and ARP chord modes and stuff like that. So there you go. That's the news for this week. Daren, are you interested in any of that? Let's go to Daren.
Right. The Novation launch key.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's better than the Arturia key step?
I actually don't have one. Let me go back to us both so you can see me talking. I don't have one, so I don't know. But I would say, in terms of what, let's get the picture up so we can see what we're talking about. It's got a lot more pads and knobs on it, hasn't it? And in that case, and if you look across the top of the key bed, there's a huge amount of functions that you can access. It's kind of similar to the way the base station works, where you hold down shift and you press one of those keys and you can access those functions. So in that case, I would say probably yes. I think the only downfall with it though is it's quite deep, whereas the key step is quite shallow. So in talking about if you're fitting stuff on your desk, right, and you've got your controller here, and then you've got something behind it, and then you've got something else behind that, that's going to push things back further because it's got that thicker row. It's almost like double the, not quite double, maybe probably about a third of the depth of a key step again. So that side of it. But don't get me wrong, the Novation make really nice keybeds, and I just don't know what that one looks like. It looks kind of, I was looking at the video before, it looks kind of slim, doesn't it? Where's that good shot of the keybed that he had? I wonder if that's a better shot there. Video's not the greatest. Hang on a sec, guys. Trying to use a video player in the middle of a stream is not a good idea. Have I told you this before? It's not a very good shot. Okay, let's see if we can have a look. There's the keybed there, right? Let's see if we get a better shot of it. Yeah, let's see. It looks quite shallow here. So these keys look quite shallow. They're probably very similar to a key step. What do you think, Daren?
Well, the reason I ask is because a key step has gone AWOL. And I love the key step. I love the ARP. I love the chord sequence and everything. And it's a nice, thin, slim thing. But the ARP doesn't work and the chord doesn't work. Updating it is like a nightmare, and I still can't get it updated. It keeps thinking it's Bob, even though it's straight into the computer. So it just keeps either dropping it into buffer mode, upload mode, and then doesn't do anything. And I've also, I don't really know, so I can get it there. Can I see this? Oops. If I hit the play button, can you see it flashing at Mach 9?
Yes.
There. So nothing will work now. I can still use the keys, but I cannot put it into chord or ARP mode. And I can't stop it from doing no matter what I do.
Do a firmware update on it. There's a fix for that.
I've tried doing the firmware update. That is the issue. It's really winding me up because it will not upload any firmware to the unit.
Okay.
I cannot. I've got the MIDI center. It finds my key step. It tells me what firmware it's on, which is 1.01, I think it is. It will download the firmware, but it won't. As soon as I try to upload it to this, it just says it can't do it, basically.
Have you got both? So you're using a Mac at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you got a Windows computer in your house?
I have. I've not tried it via Windows.
Yeah, give it a try via Windows. I actually remember there may have been an issue with some of the early white keystep models. Because I've got a white one. I don't actually use the white one anymore because it's got a dicky USB micro socket in the back.
And that's another little micro USBs. I've got it in the chat room as well. So.
If you complain to Arturia, they'll send you a brand new. You'll have to solder it in yourself, but they'll send you a new micro USB socket for free. There's talk about it.
I think someone said, is it set to sync? It's been set to sync. It's synced up and everything. I think I've done everything I can think of. I've checked on the chat on Google and everything, and people who've had the issue have said set it to internal, and voila, it works. I've set it to internal, and still I get that. Yeah.
So try it on this is something you can just try another time, but try it on Windows, see if that works. And there will be, I'm sure, some people in chat that may have another option for you as well. But let's see. At the end of the day, use Arturia to solve your problem, because they're pretty sensitive about people bad mouthing the key step, so they'll jump in and help you, I'm sure. Okay, so where were we at? We were talking about this, weren't we? So now I just noticed there was quite a lot of chat that just went flying past. So Finn is saying g'day to Finn too, by the way, and Omri. Just don't want to miss anyone else out. I think Finn and Omri are the only other two that popped in, and Barramundi's in there. How you going? All right, so Finn was saying that it doesn't have a sequencer on the launch key. It's only got an arpeggiator, so there's one big difference. Yeah, and some people are saying some good stuff about it. So for me, I think if you use those features that you can see on that, the pads and the knobs and things like that, if that's something that you need, then this is for you. Yeah. I've always thought the key step was missing a few extra knobs, and maybe a little BPM, little LED screen that has the BPM on it. That'd be good too.
Yeah, some information on it would be quite cool, because you could still keep the side. But I do like it because it has got CV out on it, which which is good for the modular.
Yeah, does. Now I'm sure I did a graphic on this. So, I actually did a little graphic of a key step in, yeah, here it is. Let me see if I can get this up. So I did a video on key step about 2 years after I bought it, and kind of reviewed it again, and it was basically telling people whether Arturia have done updates on it and all that sort of stuff. And let me see if I can add that into the stream so you guys can see it. Now, this was just a bit of fun, and I was just doing a mock-up of using the same form factor as the key step. What could you get it to look like as, a little bit more than just, what do you call it? Just the plain basic stuff that they had on there. Sorry, I'm just trying to find that file that I just had open. And doesn't it suck when you're trying to find something? You can't find it again. There it is. Okay, so let's do that. And this is the graphic that I was talking about. No, that's not it. Sorry.
That's how it looks.
That's how it is. Okay, so yeah, that's actually a good little segue. So that shows you how big it is currently. And don't ever do this on live stream, people. This was it. And this was my little quick and dirty mod that I decided to come up with. So I said there's room for more. If you look across your white key step, Daren, and then you have a look at that on the screen, look how much room there is. So
that's what I mean. That's cool, isn't it?
They could have put the little, see how I've got the little BPM LCD screen there? And you've got an extra 4 pads and an extra 3 knobs. And they could have all been assignable to whatever. And yeah, and they wouldn't have even had to have changed the form factor to do that. There would have been room. I don't know if the electronic side of it was possible, but that was just me. This was a few years ago when I did this video. It was me just having a little mock-up. So there you go, people. That was my mock-up of how to improve the
just looking at if there's enough room to do where you put those knobs. There's enough room because it'd be sat right over the MIDI ports and everything else. So if there's enough room under there, yeah, it'd work.
Yeah, or even if they made it slightly thicker, and when it wouldn't hurt anyone if it was slightly higher, if they needed to fit, the electronics in it. But
yeah. I think it could go higher, but I wouldn't want it to go more depth on it.
No, I don't want them to touch the depth. I love the depth of it. I think the depth is such a good workable thing. Probably my only complaint. Yeah,
that's what comes a lot of play on a lot of them, isn't it? There's just the depth so much you have to move everything out of the way to get them on.
So where's that measurement one? There you go. So it's 145 millimeters or 5.7 inches. So that's one of the things. But don't forget though, you do have stuff hanging out the back of that. So it's not really quite that, is it? But you can have something. You can have something sitting above it, like on a little, couple of blocks. So those cables could hide underneath it, which is what a lot of people do. They put little boxes or blocks or books even, and they sit some stuff on top. So that's what you can do. Sorry, we just completely went off on a tangent there, didn't we?
More right-angle cables they need to make as well.
Finn's asking, it's an excellent suggestion, and did Arturia respond to it? Arturia never talk to me. They don't like me. You know how you got all these YouTubers out there that get free this, and you can see them reviewing stuff, and I because I live in the bottom of the world, it's too hard apparently. It's too hard to deal with me.
Well, they can give you stuff if they want to review it.
No one gives me anything. I have to buy everything, just like you. That's why I say to everyone on the stream, whatever I show you guys, I'm using just like you. So nothing free from here. It'd be cool though, but I don't know if to be honest, I don't know if I'd have time to be like one of these reviewers. I probably wouldn't be very good at it either. I'm a bottom dweller, yeah. I hang around the bottom of the world. It gets a bit smelly down there, though. Hey?
Plus, if you bought it, you feel as though you've got more, if you don't like that product, you bought it, so you can, it's not wavered by them sending you something.
Well, that's true because you're just like everyone else. You're using it, and then if I do like the videos that I put on my channel, when I talk about a product, I'm talking about it from a user point of view. I'm saying I'm using it. These are the problems I've noticed, or these are the things that I like about it, or for me, when I do a video, it's not really those. I'm not really an opinionated person that's in that side. But what I usually tend to do is videos on if I find a feature that's not covered in the manuals or not covered well in the manuals, I'll do a video on it. And a lot of the areas that aren't covered in manuals usually are things like firmware updates, which Daren was just talking about. They're just not covered well. So yes. Daren, you've been told to move your mic closer.
Yeah, which is weird because
let me have a look at your levels.
No, your levels all right.
Yeah, your levels are fine. They're coming through fine. If you were any louder, you'd start peaking. You're good. It could.
Inky must be much to drink.
Poor Inky. It could be that there's a bit of compression. So what's happening, guys, if you don't know, Daren is actually in the UK. I'm in Australia. And he's coming all the way through the interwebs into my streaming software and then out. So there's got to be some compression and stuff. And so later on, it won't, it's not going to be perfect. But we're here and I think it's good. So, yes. Okay, so moving right along, we've got one more segment to do, and I've just about forgotten to do it. So let's go into that, Daren. Boom. eBay scammers and price watch, brought to you by... No, I haven't got anything to bring. Anyway. No eBay this week. I came across this on one of the forums, and I think if you're living in the US, this is where it happened. But I tried to do it on my phone, and it didn't do anything. So, when you go on your phone, if you've got one of those Android phones and it's got the Google search bar thing on the home screen, if you type in Roland Boutique, those particular really cheap boutique prices were coming up, and there was some dodgy company selling it, and a lot of people were saying that if you send your money, you'll never see it again. So I just thought I'd bring that up. It was more kind of, because this segment is about scams, and that is a scam. But when I tried it on my phone, probably because I'm in Australia, I just got Store DJ and eBay, which is Store DJ is one of the retailers here. So yeah. Now there was only one scam during the week, which is I find it amazing that I'm even able to find a scam each week. So some weeks I have 2, some weeks I have 3. So I think it's incredible, this stuff. But you guys who have been watching the stream may remember that I also do this price watch, and it's been a month since the last time I updated it because it was August. So I thought it was about time I updated it because we're about halfway, nearly all the way through September now, and we've got some data back. And look at September on eBay; it's gone boom. Now, for those who don't know what this is me just using the SH101 as a price in the used market. Now I've done my research. This is worldwide, so I usually kind of find these are actually sold listings, so these are real sell prices. So eBay's gone through the roof. So for those who are wondering, did the Behringer MS101 or MS01 or whatever they're calling it now, did that affect the prices of the SH101? No. In fact, look at eBay. It's just kept going up. In fact, it may have actually helped it. So work that stuff out, guys. But Reverb did take a little bit of a dip. So obviously someone must have been in a hurry. There was only one listing on Reverb, so that could be what we call in the data land. That could be an anomaly. So anyway, there you go. Daren, what do you think of that?
Well, I've got, like I said, I've got the original one which needs some work going to it. I'll have to do that with the Juno 6.
Yeah, maybe we could do another graph. Juno 6 graph.
Yeah. Juno 6.
Yeah, that might be...
that's good to see how that goes up or down or whatever.
Yeah. So, where are we? I keep losing my place. So Finn is asking how many transactions are we talking about. So in Reverb, there was only one for the month of September, or month between August and September. And on eBay, there was stacks. There was probably 6. So that's quite a lot of SH-101 sold over the world. I actually think, I'm amazed how many there were. And that one was... where's that graph again? So we can look at it. It was around about just over the 6... This is US dollars, by the way. So around about 1,600 and something US dollars. It wasn't the highest either, but it definitely wasn't the lowest. The lowest was around about the the $1,200 mark. So it just gives you an idea. Yeah, not a massive sample, but all I'm doing is really just kind of watching the prices, if that makes sense. It's not scientific. It's just really just a bit of fun. And the whole point with this is just so that people can get an idea of whether things are going... And then people seem to be interested in this. I don't know if I am, but I'm doing it just for fun. Anyway, let's have a quick look in what's happening in chat. And then we're going to go into our other segment. So... By the way, Axelsoft is saying, just interested to know, is the new Rion Re drift synths being offered for sale in the UK via Korg, or are they also available elsewhere? Nothing on Google. I don't know, is my answer. Daren, do you know anything about the Rion Re drift synths?
I do not know.
Yeah, you're on your own there, I think, Axel. Sorry. Triple Eight Berg saying, I'm thinking of pulling the trigger on an MS-101 or an SH-01A. Go with the MS-101. Or the MS-01s now. Because you'll like it. They're pretty good. But the SH-01As are also pretty cool. It just depends. If you don't have room, then get the Boutique. If you've got room, then, I've shown them both here. Yeah, I haven't seen that Axel, the Rion from Korg, so it didn't quite make my news. It hasn't quite got there yet. Let me just have a quick look. We might be able to see if it's anything to talk about. Okay, so what didn't make the news today, because I just didn't have enough time, was the Apple iOS. I think I talked about it a few months ago. They've actually now released it. But there's also a bug, so don't update your iPad or whatever they're saying, because it actually does things to synth owners, so be aware of that. That was the other thing that I didn't quite get to, and I can't find anything about the Korg thing, so I'll have to do that next week. So Axel, hold off till next week, and probably by then you'll know a lot more about it than us. Let's get into the next segment, because it's been 43 minutes and we haven't even started yet. Daren, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go? It's up to you.
Well, no, because I'll have to move the camera, so you'll be able to switch quite easily.
Oh, mine will be pretty quick. Yeah. So I'm going to go to me. Okay, guys. Drum roll. There is the Yamaha AN200. If you guys watching the stream last week, you would have noticed I was showing a video of me pulling this thing apart and repairing it. No, I didn't do that last week. That was a video of me in 2016 doing that. And we replaced the data encoder on there, and I just wanted to show you that. Look at that, how it works beautifully now. Look at that nice data encoder behaving how... Daren, your Raven needs to have a data encoder like that. When you actually turn it to the left, it goes down, and when you turn it to the right, it goes up.
Funny enough, mine's been fine at the moment.
Well, there you go.
It's just at the moment.
It's a mechanical thing. You could try the deoxit spray. Have you seen the deoxit spray you can get for them? That's like a contact.
A couple of times.
Yeah, give it a whack. See if that fixes it. All right. Okay, so this is, for those who don't know, this is basically an AN1X cut in half. In other words, it's 5 voices of the 10 voices that you get in an AN1X, and turned into a groove box. And this is, oh my god, this is so bad. This is so like 90s, early 2000s. So like, please be prepared to be, I don't know, transported back in a time machine to the bad music era of the late 90s. Here we go. This is how it works. Alright, I'm just gonna play presets, sorry. But you know, this thing, you can see all the features. It's got a full synth here, so you can change the LFO, the filter in the amp envelope. You can actually do sound design on this as well. It's got 2 oscillators. It's got an effects engine. It's got pretty decent amount of filters. The filters very, very, very aliasy. Just to give you an idea, these are the filters. So you hold down shift, and if you see how it's got a little thing in black, like reverse type, that means you hold down shift and you can access that. And then you can change it from 24 dB, 18, 12, bandpass, high pass, and then Beth. Is that your auntie's name, Auntie Beth? I don't know what Beth is. Someone might be able to tell me. It might be kind of like a comb filter. In fact, let's have a listen. What does it sound like? Yeah, it sounds comby, doesn't it? Yeah, it's kind of comby, I'd say. Anyway, that's not what that filter was, by the way. Let's put it back. If you ever want to get your preset back, you just load it back in. Alright, so what else does it do? Well, apart from all the sound design stuff, it's got a whole bunch of performance things, because it's actually a really pretty decent. I actually like this sequencer. I like the way it works. It's got a very intuitive design. It's very basic. Yes, it's not going to compete with an Akai Force or anything like that. Remember, guys, this is pretty old, this thing. But there's some cool little tricks up its sleeve. So, for example, it's got 4 parts. So let's go through it. As well as the AN1X sound engine, it's also got the Yamaha AWM PCM sample. So you can hear the drums. Right? You can turn the bass off. And you can do cool things like this. Introduce your parts again. They can also reverse it. And then you can transpose it. Right, so there's a real quick and dirty thing. But also you've got these scenes up here, and you can actually record kind of like 2 states, so you can go from one sort of sound state to another while you're in the performance. So that one's not doing it too well, that patch. Let's try a different patch. That one doesn't sound too good either. You just got to keep finding one until you find one. There you go. So that one's obviously a filter change, and you can program the scenes and store it and things like that. Now, aside from that, you can also play this thing like a synth. Change the patch. See if we can find a monophonic, polyphonic. for those who've never ever seen an AN200 in action, that's a really, really quick and dirty basic thing. It's also got a distortion engine. I forgot to mention that. You can turn it off. You can change its value. I actually don't mind this distortion engine. I think it's pretty good. Probably my most disliked feature on this, apart from the PCM samples in the AWM bank, is the filter. The filter to me is very aliasy. So let's get you an example of that. All right, so there's that sound. So just on that sweep, if you've got really good ears, you would have heard it was jagged. It wasn't fluid, okay? And the reason for that is the back end of this is actually all just MIDI. So the whole digital controller isn't high resolution. It's just using standard MIDI, which means you can actually plug a controller into this and control it completely from an external controller, or you can plug a computer into it and use software. And that's the downfall of these older bits of digital gear. They do have, issues like that. It's also got show value, so you can find out what the original value of something was in the preset. But anyway, Daren, how are you going with setting yours up?
Mine will be not too bad. I'm just gonna.
So while Daren's got his set up, okay, so let's have a look at what the chatties are saying. Oh God, yeah. I mean, look, this thing is really bad. I did warn you. But if you like the sound of the AN1X, you can get serious and make these things sound really nice too. Can we get a pad? We could get a pad. Let's turn that off. Let's turn noise off. Where's noise? We don't want any sync. So we've got a pulse and we've got a triangle. Let's change that to a saw. All right, now let's get some release happening on the AEG. All right, now let's get some LFO happening. So you can get really synthy with this if you want to. Listen to the aliasing on that. It's crazy. Can you hear it? All right, let me just do this. When that's doing that effect, and you can hear it with the LFO, you can hear it sort of stepping up and stepping down. It's very hard, but just one more time. You guys can tell me if you heard that. All right. So I think Daren's ready. You guys have had enough of the AN200. If you guys have got any questions about the AN200, definitely chuck them in, and we can come back. But I think just to keep things flowing nicely, I think we're going to have a look at MAM. Daren, the first question I wanted to ask you, mate, is when you call this MAM, does it answer back?
Sometimes it does.
All right, let's have a look at MAM. Now, just for those playing along at home, please understand that there's going to be some audio compression coming through because of the way this stream works, the way the internet works. So this is not going to be as clear as my AN200 sound, but this is more just sort of just a demo. Daren's got some, something he wants to show you guys. So if we're after purity of sound, this is not the forum for it. Off you go, Daren.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's not going to be the best sound quality coming through. But what I thought I'd do is I'd have the TB03 and the MAM together on a similar setting. So this is the TB03. If you can all hear. And this is the MAM, and a very similar setting. So if we just run a sequence. So this is the MAM running. Now the thing with the MAM is, on the TB03 you switch your saw and square wave with a switch, whereas on the MAM it's a rotary, so you can actually blend the two together, which is quite interesting. Now you can hear some reverb there, and it's not from the Strymon. Into some effects. So there you go, some effects onto that. Do we like to see what the effects are?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the reverb we are running. Can we see it? In fact, we may have to lift the camera up here. The reverb, we are running a TC Electronics T2. I think they've been discontinued. I'm not sure. Electro Harmonix Canyon delay.
Nice.
And the smaller phone.
So the Canyon, from memory, is actually digital, but it's emulating a tape delay, isn't it? Or it's got a whole bunch of settings on it, hasn't it? Yeah.
It's got a few settings, I think, at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is just the delay.
tapey, that one.
Yeah. Let's have a different colour. Octo, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And the T2, which is very nice. It has the tone prints on the T2, so you can, if it has been discontinued, I won't be surprised if you can find the tone prints to the settings on the T2. They're all sorts of modulated reverbs on the T2, very atmospheric. So if you put some luscious pads into it, it's quite epic. And the small stone is basically it's a bit like a phaser, but it's a frequency modulator, so it's very similar to a phaser sounding. Take them off. And then the distortion from the good old Boss. But you're going to get a lot of sounds coming from this.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, when you start whacking it through all the just using nothing else other than the effect.
You can drive the effects just with distortion.
And it's
drone time. What you need now is just a little analog filter on that.
Exactly.
Like a Moog Foger or something.
So there's some effects. It's quite
yeah, that's pretty groovy.
Oh.
Definitely cool. Also, don't forget too, in your little TB03, you've got actually a overdrive and delay on there as well.
Yeah. This is true. Let's just take that off.
Very nice. I think we're gonna. The chat room's going crazy because I didn't give them their pad. They want their pad. So
you better find a pad.
Yeah. Well, let's do a interactive pad. What do you reckon? So where I will just go back to getting my mouse back so I can actually use it. All right. So you want a bit of attack. Okay, 888 Berg, you're in control. Tell me what you want me to do. Michael B, how you going? And Inverted Popes, how you going? Okay, Triple Eight Berg is going to tell me what knobs to twiddle. That's on max release now. Alright, let's try a different waveform. Too much LFO, okay. Let's take the LFO out a bit. Alright, and just turn it off, I think. Does that have reverb? It does. It has somewhere. It does have reverb, I'm just trying to find it. I haven't used this thing for yonky donkeys. It is in here somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Can't find it. If anyone sees it, it's written on here somewhere. It's not in there though. Unless it's shift. No, that's kind of like panning your yeah. Ah, where is it? Someone might be able to look it up quickly for me. So it wash it in reverb and slam 6 fingers on the keyboard. Well, I forgot. I was doing that. I was just going across all the black keys, you know. But I don't have the reverb set up. Someone can look it up. Or are you going to make me look it up? I've got the manual here. What do you think of the AN200, Daren? While I'm looking it up.
It sounds very hot. It sounds okay. It sounds like the AM1X, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not used to the AM1X. It
They
should have reverb.
It shouldn't sound any different to the AM1X at all.
No. Not that I can hear anyway.
Yeah. AN200 owner's manual. Okay, let's hopefully this has got some sort of form of search. Reverb. Okay. Reverb is a hidden type of delay. I knew it was in there. Okay, so I need to change. I need to hold down type and then change. Hang on. No. There we go. Reverb. That should be reverb. Let's max it out. There we go, people. I should probably, well, I keep forgetting I'm live streaming. There we go. Now, to get the reverb, because you didn't see me do that, you just hit delay like that, and then you just change it to reverb and just max it out. Let's change that. So these oscillators are. This is actually where the AN1X is actually pretty cool. It's got multi types of oscillators. So that's a multi-saw. You can change these to all these different types of oscillators here. That sounds a bit more detuned and a bit thicker. The envelope on that's pretty good. Do I only decent reverbs like the PCM81 or similar? I do. I've got like Big Sky, Strymon Big Sky. I've got Boss, you know, the Boss RD500. Excuse me. And a few others. And obviously I've got VST based ones as well. So yeah, I do. I've got Valhammer Shimmer, and I've got Eventide VST type reverbs as well, so the black hole on that. RD500, that's the one, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, in 1997 was trying to troll us. I mean, look at that. I mean, like, why would you not have reverb on the front? That is just stupid. So you have to press that, and if you press it, it loses your effect, and then you have to go back in and change it to reverb. But then again, I think maybe you don't even have to press it. You hit that, and then you can go back. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just me being stupid. Anyway, which is something that you guys are used to. There we go, guys. We've had an hour of 14 minutes of awesomeness. Who agrees? Now, who actually wanted to hear the Moog? I mentioned earlier the Moog was it the modular 10 or whatever it's called. I actually have a video. You're going to hear it. If you didn't want to, bad luck. Let's see if it works. So that video just goes on and on and on of just people soldering, but you can actually hear the Model 10. Now I know some people that absolutely go absolute crazy when they hear analog synths based in like absolute drowning in reverb and delay, and they just go, "Oh, what are you doing? You're ruining it." We can't hear the real synth, we're just hearing the effects. So Yeah, obviously this is just a marketing video, guys. So there you go. I just thought I'd play that. Darren, out of all of those new products that I showed today, which one would excite you the most? And you can say none. That's okay. We're big boys here, and a few big girls as well.
I don't. The Arturia looks okay. I never got the audio fuse. It was sort of like it was a very nice piece of kit, but I don't know if it quite hit the mark. It was good.
Yeah.
I don't think you said it. I think it did as well as you were expecting.
Let me grab it while you're talking.
Probably the Novation. That was quite interesting, especially because I'm having issues with my key step, but we won't go into that. But other than that, the others were expensive. I'll do like that £20,000 modular system with the with the big. It looked like a massive desk sort of thing. That looks cool.
That's the nerdy stuff, isn't it? Like you just fill up a wall. Yeah. There's some people out there that absolutely. There's definitely a modular versus Eurorack world out there. So while you were talking about the audio fuse, so this is the audio fuse. Why don't we do this? Okay, move that away. So this is the audio fuse. Okay, it's in a little tin can. You can get all different colors. The bottom of it's got a nice rubber sort of, it's all metal, this thing. These are the connectors on the back. So do you remember how I was mentioning before how it's got SPDIF? You won't see the SPDIF, I have to take the lid off. So you take the lid off, it's got nice velour internals. And there's all your SPDIF connections there in and out. And you've also got some more connectors there, and MIDI. MIDI is the 3.5mm jacks. So sorry, this is not an ad for Arturia, but I just want to show you. There's different colors of the metal as well. There's black one, and this is the silver, and I think there's another one. I can't remember what other color it is, but there's also connectors on the front. So in terms of compact, this thing is massively compact. Like, the amount of connections this has got. Also, it's a USB hub. See that? So you can power this thing off of USB, but it goes into what they call green, like a green mode. So it's not quite as powerful unless you power it off DC. So things like the preamps don't work properly. This it kind of dulls itself. But if you power it off DC, everything works beautifully. But you can, like I've had this running off a Microsoft Surface, and it works without any other external power, running off the battery of a Surface. The XLR inputs on the front also has the 48 volt phantom power as well. You notice how you've got my headphones for both sizes, so it doesn't matter which one you plug it in, it will still work. You can actually plug it into both. The interface is a bit confusing, I find. I still haven't got my head around it. Notice up here you've got this toggle wheel, right? Now there's a little groove where that just clicks in to the right there, and up the top it's direct, and down the bottom it's computer. So this is kind of like your loop back thing. If you've got a computer and you've got audio coming out of your computer, and you've also got this got audio coming into it, and you want to hear it back through your computer, as if like your DAW's output, you put that all the way down to computer. Otherwise you'll get the doubling sound. If you want to hear both, you go to there, or if you just want to hear what's coming in to the audio fuse. So it's pretty handy, that side of it. And then, it's got a whole bunch of features. Now, when you want to plug the ADAT module into it, you just plug it in with the light pipe, one of these things in the back. And it'll take another 8 inputs. And there's a video, I'll link it in the description, where I show this thing running off a Microsoft Surface with the Behringer ADA200, I think it is, 8200. So there you go. That is the audio fuse, if you didn't know what it was. So Daren, one thing I will tell you, do you remember all those problems I was having, the technical issues with the stream?
Yeah.
The audio fuse didn't solve it. So, so what I've got now, and I've had this, it was in my rack. There's a rack behind me, behind my chair. That rack there. I had a audio interface in there called a Presonus Studio 192. This is my professional recording audio interface. I had to pull it out of my rack and use that. Now I'm using that as my main audio interface, and it's like a high-end, recording thing. And for those who don't know what it is, it's just a 1U rack-mounted audio interface. USB 3 can take up to 26 inputs with all the ADAT modules plugged in. So it's pretty big, but it's a bit old now. So USB 3 now, they've got USB-C. There's things better than it. So I think the Behringer one that's come out just recently is very, very interesting. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, the Behringer one, the 88 8200, has Midas preamps on it. So they're the actual the guys from the UK. They're nicer, nicer gear. I don't know what Arturia, you have to go check that out. And also Presonus have got a really nice 8.8 module as well. It's much more expensive than the Behringer one though. So I've got a Behringer one sitting in that rack there, and I've got another one sitting right here. So right now I've got 16 channels I can play with right next to me, including the... That's coming straight into it. So, let's just get rid of that. So, in terms of audio interfaces, yes, this thing, the audio fuse is pretty cool. It works with iPad. It's class compliant. All that sort of stuff is good. It works obviously straight into a Mac. You don't need any drivers for it, but you can do it without drivers. But obviously Arturia recommend that you download and install their what do they call it? Audio Fuse. Yeah, it's kind of like MIDI Control Center, but it's called Audio Fuse Control Center. There you go. Geez, I went to town with that name. So it's basically, I just know if I can show it. That's the only thing. Do I have it on the Mac? I don't know if I've got it on here. Audio Arturia. Software set. No, I don't have it on the Mac. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, you guys can check it out. There's a software controller for it. The software controller lets you change things like the sample rate, because you can plug samplers into this, of course, like you were talking before. And make sure when you're doing your light pipe modules too, that if you're going to do it, make sure you get them right, because it won't work at all if you don't get it right. Yeah. So, getting back to the stream, let's see what the chatties have been up to. They're all talking about Audio Fuse. Yeah, it was pretty expensive when they first launched the Inky. So I don't know what they charge for it now. That's actually a really good question. Well, let's just have a look at one thing. So the ADAT module that I was showing before, which is where are we? Let's get, not that, sorry. News 2, was it? That one. That is retailing at $7.99 US. Gee, that's not cheap at all. But don't forget though, this is a little bit more than what the Behringer thing is. This is actually a standalone interface, yeah. So you can use it as a standalone interface. You don't actually have to get the Audio Fuse module that I was showing before. You can actually just use that on its own, Daren. So that's something of interest. But Audio Fuse itself, where do you buy your stuff from, Daren? Where's a good store?
try Gear for Music. I think that's everywhere, isn't it?
Gear for Music, yeah. That's where I got my Behringer stuff from. Audio Fuse. Audio Fuse, £396 for a black one. Oh no, that's nearly new. Sorry, £532 for the same one I've got, the silver one. The nearly new means it's what do you call it? The boxed.
Yeah.
Out of box. Now they've also got this other version called the Audio Fuse Studio, right? So the Audio Fuse Studio, let's just show you guys that. Audio Fuse Studio. Giving Arturia a nice big wrap tonight, aren't we? So there's another version of Audio Fuse. Getting it up. Waiting for the interwebs to load because I'm streaming, of course, everything's going to be slow. That is the Audio Fuse Studio. So you can see it's a little bit more, it's got 2 more inputs. Yeah. 800, wow, this stuff's getting pretty pricey. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you guys think of these prices. I thought Arturia usually are pretty cheap for stuff, but this stuff is, I think they're trying to aim it at the higher end. I personally think there's definitely other options out there, guys. So, but yeah. I got my Audio Fuse I got it on sale. I'll let you know what it is in pounds. Actually, it was about the same price as that unboxed one. It was about 300 and... No, it was cheaper. It was about £330. And I got mine brand new and with a warranty and everything. So if you price them around, they will go on sale. I thought £330 was a pretty decent price, but I think £530 is, I think it's a bit, I don't know. What do you think, Daren? £530 a bit overpriced for the small one?
Yeah. Yeah, I would have thought so. I mean, it's like I still sort of think the Apollo is quite, the Apollo Twin or something like that.
Yeah, but they're high end, the Apollos. Yeah. UA.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you're paying 500 and odd for audio fuses, and I don't know. There's so many on the market. It depends on what you want, really, I suppose. I mean, because what I'm using now at the moment is a Focusrite Scarlett.
They're pretty good too. Yeah, they're pretty good.
So I think someone just asked, is it 88 who's just asked about patch bays?
Yep.
I'm sure I've just replied that. Yeah, I'm using patch bays. I'm using 3 patch bays underneath the desk. You can't see, and one just to the left of me here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they are very handy. But make sure you get good quality patch bays. That's one thing I will say. Because
they're actually harder to find now. There's less people making them.
Yeah, I was looking for some patch bays to replace the one on the desk that's a bit iffy. I thought, well, I'll get a new patch bay because they were all 10 to penny at one time. And when I started looking, it's like, wow, there's not that many around.
Yeah. My patch bay, which is down there, is a Behringer one, and it's fine. And it's got, across the top of it, across each port, it's a 24 bay. It's got the 3 settings, the switch, so you can go from A to through to B, I think it is.
Let me have a look.
There's this is a completely different topic.
that tab, that one there.
Yep.
And on the top, okay, I don't know if I can get the camera. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. The switches on the top. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and Dickie, the other ones are all right.
They're okay. They work fine. Yeah.
It's one channel as well. The one that Raven was on.
The benefit of the patch bay, Daren will back me up here, is that you don't have to go crawling behind your interfaces and your mixers and things like that to plug and unplug things in. You just literally stick it in the front, and you can go and you can route. That's the other benefit. You can route something. You can go from one thing to another. So if you're doing effects and effect sends and stuff. You can pipe it from one to another. It's really, really useful. Very useful.
If your studio space is getting quite a few hardware stuff, they're a godsend.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what else did they say in the chat? They said that the Arturia is a high-priced product. Yeah, I don't know if I would agree that it's worth it though. I would say that other companies make just as good a product in terms of quality, and I think maybe they are trying to recoup some of their design and R&D on this. I think there's definitely a lot of R&D that's gone into this, and it's pretty cool and everything, but it failed. It's failed me. I actually can't use it right now. It's probably going to be on my little for sale thing very soon. In fact, I'm glad I got it out. I can chuck it up on eBay this week. Yeah, it's news. There's news now. Good news. I've sold one of my things, which I posted on Facebook what it was. For those who follow me, they'll know. So now I have enough cash to pay for the streaming software, so that's solved, that problem. I have to just wait for the guy it's in the mail, so once he receives it and he flags it as received, I'll get that money into my PayPal account and bang, I'll be able to pay for the streaming software, so that's good news, I guess. But I've got a few other things I'm still wanting to sell, because I've got a feeling that some of these Behringer products are coming out very soon, and yeah, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on some of them. Definitely want to make some cash available if they definitely put that 2600 out. That would be incredible to have. Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to do it. And also the Pro 1 is exciting me a bit too at the moment. And they're starting to ship those already. So yeah, getting back to patch bays, if, like Daren said, if you've got your studio set up and you don't really want to move your gear around, they're really, really handy. So yeah, for me, I'm kind of, I don't know, Daren, you're a bit different to you. I kind of like to move my stuff around, and I find myself, you can see now it's changed. I've got my modular thing sitting right there now, Eurorack thing sitting there, and I was playing with this, which is the VCS, sorry, the VC340, the vocoder string machine. And what I was playing with it is in the back of it, it's got a CV input for pitch, and I was using the Neutron LFO to control the pitch on this thing. I wanted to see how responsive it was, and it was incredible because this is all analog, all control voltage in here, and I could get that pitch to do some really, really crazy stuff. No, Triple 8 Berg, you're not going to get my Octatrack. If you add a 2 in front of that, maybe an extra 2250 maybe. He's wishful thinking. So yeah, so for me, I can't, if I have a patch bay, I will then find I'll have to have stuff and keep it where it is. Do you know what I mean, Daren? So it's yeah, I don't know where I seem to be going at the moment is I seem to be on this, because of this software and needing some cash and that. I think I'm on now. I've got the bug where I can sell gear and I can, finance new gear. I'm actually quite happy with getting rid of stuff I haven't used for a while. So I've got this massive cupboard in here which is full of gear, and I'm probably going to clean out a lot of it. So it might make me a little bit more settled in terms of what I've got out, and I'll probably leave it out a bit more structured. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, because my studio such am I getting feedback?
No, you're good.
Because my studio is so sort of compact and small, when something goes into it or fits into a space, it sort of really has to stay there because I can't really move stuff around. So yeah, when I've put it in, it stays there. So the patch bays are pretty necessary in this studio. It's so small to fit anything in. I mean, any more kit that I want, I'd probably have to hang it from the ceiling.
Yeah, and I mean either that or you have to change where your studio is, and you probably don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is Paddy.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. Like you might start getting into the point where you might be putting stuff away somewhere and then pulling it out, which is where I got to. I probably will do a bit of that, I think, but a lot of the stuff that I've got in that cupboard there, I'm going to get rid of. There's actually really big keyboard synths in there. I've got like a Korg M3 and Sonic ESQ1, Roland System 8 staying, that's not going. There's a couple of Moog synths in there, a Moog Sub Fatty, Slim Fatty.
Oh, Slim Fatty, I was watching.
Yeah. That's something I could put on the, because it's only modular. It's like a rack thing. I could put that on the stream. Yeah, so you know, there's a whole bunch of synths in there. Roland synths, Yamaha DX7. I'll probably get rid of the DX7. I had it out the other day, and I don't think I'll use it anymore. You can get all the DX7 sounds on VSTs now, so I'll probably get rid of it. Someone will want it. And yeah, you know, I'll just clean it out. So I think what Inverted Popes was saying before is kind of similar in the chat. So he's been moving stuff for over a year now to get to where he wants to be. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to fuel my Eurorack stuff, and I also want to get some of the new Behringer stuff that's coming out. And right now I've sort of, you know, been hit with that big software bill. So normally I would get something new. The last purchase I made was like a guitar pedal. So yeah. 888 Berg's hoping for a marriage breakdown. If you keep buying stuff, mate, it might happen. Yeah. See, that's one of the good things about these little things. Is these little, not the Churio thing, these little groove boxes, they're easy to sneak into the house. You can sneak them in your backpack. And then, you know, just hope that the missus doesn't see it. Oh, is that new? No, I've had it for years. So yeah. Who kind of sneaks things in is a good question. Verta Popes.
I wouldn't say I do anymore.
Inky still regrets selling the MC505. Yeah. Yeah, you should regret selling that. It's awesome. I've got mine sitting over there. And I've had mine since 1997 or 1998, somewhere around there. So, geez, 20 years I've had a synth for. That's not the oldest thing I've got.
Old kit sometimes is get to keep. Because I can never see myself selling the Juno 6.
Have you ever seen the arpeggiator on? I mean, you know how I'm nerdy about arpeggiators, right? The Roland MC505. Let me see if I can get this video up. Okay. Let's get this up. This is me. Well, hey guys, so nice of you to join me, and today we're going to do another arpeggiator video. This one is on the Roland MC505. I've had this synthesizer for years. For those playing along at home, years means I've actually had this since brand new, and I bought it. Let's fast forward. I've got this arpeggiator in. I've got the SH01A being arpeggiated by this. I want to see if I can get this thing to play. Features. You're going to be blown away. Where are we? And it goes on. Check that out. On the left hand side is a little graphic that I sort of cut and pasted out of the manual. These are kind of all the different there's all these different sort of patterns and things it's got built into it. It's crazy. This is just the arpeggiator. And the list, as you can see on the left there, see if I can find it. C, G, and C. Let's do that. Go. Or they're going to go down. There you go. So there's the other part of it. So you've got all these different layers. You've got all these different motives. as well. So you know, standard arpeggiator where you've got single up, single down, up and down, all that sort of stuff. But then you've got things like triple random, note order, glissando, chords, bass and chords, bass up. You know, it's crazy. And this thing was made like years and years and years ago. And yeah, and then there's this thing where you've got beat patterns. So that, so Daren, not only did it have not only did it have those 3 different sections, but also you've got the ability to edit any of that and make your own user. And it can be based on these, or it can be a hybrid, or it can be something that you've completely designed yourself. And look at all that. The beat patterns will affect the accenting and cause all these different sounds to change. Now, have I got
this particular
sound
case,
on
we're
this?
on sequence.
There we go.
Now, what else? You can hear it shuffling now. See that? Drum beat
Shuffle.
hitting at that
This is like a manual, so
arpeggiators do.
where I find it. There we go. This is just the SH01. 888 Berg, this is the SH01A if you're interested. Sounds beautiful. You could play with that arpeggiator all day long, I reckon, and you still wouldn't get bored. It's probably, it's not the biggest either. There's, I think the Yamaha Montage or whatever, that big massive monolith synth has got a bigger arpeggiator on it than that. But you know, it's just crazy. I think the Virus has got a pretty decent arpeggiator as well. But yeah, you could just go crazy with that thing. So I'm a bit of an arpeggiator freak.
Yeah, so am I. You can just spend hours on an app.
Yep. And that's why I bought that. I showed it last week. That Noodler. That's why I bought
the
that.
Noodler.
Yeah, it's basically a massive ARP. Yeah. Oh, if you can find some funds to get yourself one of those, you'd love it. And it works nicely with modular as well. That thing. It's got a pretty stable clock in it as well. Yeah, the Mod X is the Yamaha, but the Montage is the bigger version, isn't it? And it has like insane amount of arpeggiator control in that synth. Got a friend who's got one and keeps telling me to buy one, but yeah, not yet. Don't have enough money. Maybe if I start selling some stuff. But yeah, so in terms, that video is on my channel if you're gonna want to go and watch it. It's only really just there for people who've got MC505s and don't know how to use stuff. But you can actually see mine's got old age disease. You can see on the see the LED or LCD display there how it's all kind of broken up. It's getting old. So yeah, it's going to be the next thing that I have to fix. And I mean, I hate fixing stuff. It's a
Put it on D-Beam.
It's got D-Beam, yeah. It's actually, the D-Beam on this is actually really cool because it's got turntable mode. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that, no. I always wanted it because that's D-Beam.
Look, turntable mode.
See, and Inky got rid of hers.
Inky, hey, Inky, how you feeling? You got rid of yours. She's saying that the ARP is the reason why she regrets selling it. I'm just showing the ARP. Nothing like a bit of trolling for the night, for the day.
Should just do an ARP box. A bit like the Noodler, but just an ARP box.
Apparently the ARP in the MC707 is pretty good too, from what I've been told. Yeah, apparently it's pretty good. It's not. I don't think it's quite as deep as that though, but it's people are saying it's pretty decent. Finn is talking about 10,000 plus ARP patterns. Is that the Finn? Are you talking about the Yamaha, the Mod X? Because I think that's probably more likely. Mod X 8 ARPs, new Phantom equals. We don't know. Oh yeah, I never showed that as a news item because I just kind of thought, sorry Axel if you like the Roland stuff, but I don't know. I just thought, what are you doing, Roland? we showed the Daren. We showed the what were they? The X and XM, but I didn't show the Phantom. I had some people message me saying, "Why didn't you show the Phantom?" And I'm like, "How long do you want our stream to go for?" Yeah. Inky's saying she spent 3 hours on D-Beam playing piano. Oh yeah, because it's got the it's a bit like a, what do you call it? Theremin, how it changes the pitch, and you can the piano go, and you can just go crazy. The piano sounds in the Roland, like the 90s stuff, it sounds real like house, 90s house piano sounds. They're not very good at all. But yeah, fantastic. So there was no more questions about any of the stuff Daren showed or I showed. Everyone seems to be pretty happy. That's really cool. Let us know in the chat. Remember, as I always say each stream, to let us know in the chat if there's anything you would like me to show you guys on the stream. And obviously it's got to be within reason. It's something that I've got my hands on here in my studio. I've got a gear list on my website, ranzee.com. You can check that out. Or if you already know that I've got something, definitely let me know. Daren's got a whole bunch of gear too, and if you ask him nicely, he might even look at you. You might say nothing. He might swear at you. I don't know. It's up to Daren.
It all depends on how the sound quality is coming out over from my end, because it might not sound as good as it sounds.
Yeah, I've got a solution that we can do to fix that. But it'll be requiring us to do some pre-recorded stuff, and then play that through the stream, which I don't think is a problem. We just have to be a little bit more prepared, so we can get the quality going through, and then and afterwards we can show functionality. When you're showing functionality, it doesn't necessarily have to sound brilliant. Yeah, one day I'll share the mod X. Yeah, well, Axel, you have to come on the stream, mate. There's a spot. See that little black square below me down there? There's a spot there for you. You just have to let us know when you're ready. And I think Inky's back next week, if I remember rightly. So we have some work to do next week. I'm pretty sure, Inky, you will have to let me know afterwards, but I'm pretty sure we will have a topic for next week, if Inky's got time. We were looking at sampling and using stems, but it's up to Inky if she's got time or not. Key step into the MAM 33. What do you mean, Triple Eight Berg? Using the sequencer? Daren was.
He's asking about the accents on the MAM. It's mainly on the velocity.
Yep.
If you turn the accent up on the MAM, and then the harder the velocity, the more the accent it makes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I need to do. This is completely unrelated to what we were just talking about. So, you guys, you've got a few YouTubers here, so we know what I'm talking about. When you get comments on your videos, especially if you get comments on your videos, and it just makes me laugh. Where are we? I just want to read. I want to share it with you guys because I just think it was hugely funny. Okay, so so I did a video on the Behringer MS101 sequencer and MIDI capabilities, and this guy sends me this message, and he said, quote unquote, "Where is the MIDI CC implementation chart for the MS101? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark." These are some of the comments I get on my videos, right? I don't work for Behringer. I don't know where it is. How would I know? It's one of the funniest things that you get. You get people abusing you for stuff that you didn't even have any control over. Yeah, one guy was saying to me during the week that all these conspiracy theories about these music companies, and they're all conspiring to take our money. I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, it's quite interesting. I probably should. It should almost make it to see if I can do a collation of some of the funniest comments I get and put it on the funny side. I reckon. Would you guys be interested in seeing that? Message of the day, yeah. Definitely worth. Mac Mister, how you going? He wants to see more of the Noodler. Okay. I'm not very good with the Noodler yet. I'm still learning it. It's a pretty big learning curve. The guy that invented it is very scientific and very engineering. So, but I can use it a bit. I can definitely put that on the list. But next week, I'm pretty sure, as long as Inky says, yes, she says she's back. But we'll see. If we've got time, we'll definitely be doing the samply thing. And what's the MIDI implementation of the System 8 and how does humanity complete nuclear fusion? I know I should know that answer. Daren, do you know the answer to that one?
It's just on the tip of my tongue.
Dear me. Well, we should all be giving Boris some lessons at the moment, I think, on how to run a government, how to run a Brexit. At the moment, speaking of politics, our Prime Minister, the Australian Prime Minister, is over talking with Donald Trump at the moment, so that'll be interesting. Two bozos talking to each other. All they need is Boris to go over there. It'll be like a clown circus. Sorry to all the Trump supporters. Yeah. Anyway, so next week, Inky hasn't really said no, so I'm guessing that she's okay with it. She said she's back. So next week, what we'll do is we'll go through one of my tracks that I've launched commercially. I've mentioned this before, and we're going to go and check out kind of how I did it, but not too much, not too boring there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Inky the stems or the samples, and we'll see if we can get her to play with it a bit, if she's got time. If she doesn't, that's cool. We can do that the following week. But anyway, the whole point is that I think it's something that, workflow is different for everyone. It's kind of interesting to see how other people work. And you'll probably find that I'm very similar to the way that Akai Force has arrived. So I've always worked like the way that Akai... I don't know why I've never bought an Akai Force, but probably because I don't have money. But yeah, that's pretty much how I work anyway. So I'd be interested, because I don't own an Akai Force, to see what Inky does with the Akai Force and with my sounds in it, and see what she does, because we all work differently. So there you go. And Daren, if you are okay, you're more than welcome to add something in there. I think there's some people that wouldn't mind hearing your Juno, so there's that. So yeah, it's up to you.
Run Juno through the big sky.
Juno through the big sky. There you go, 888 Berg. We can do some pads.
Yeah, some push pads.
50,
I'll just hit all 6
seconds
keys and
reverbs.
Yeah, I'll just hit all 6 keys and run it through the big sky.
Have you guys seen that's the sampler, and it's just a brick with a bit of paper stuck on it? It's called the ambient sequencer. It's just a brick.
I might have done actually.
I'm gonna have to put that on the funny side next week. It's pretty funny. I thought people have seen it though. Finn's asking what samplers will we be using. MPC Live and the Force on Inky's side, and on my side it will just be Ableton. I'm not actually gonna, because it's all been pre-recorded, but I'll go through what synths I use and everything. So it'll be that. But yeah, no pressure, as Axel said. See how we go, and maybe Daren can surprise us. See what he can come up with.
Well, I'm not going to try putting the 4 stems into these old things. If you can see them. There we go. Oh, is it too dark?
It's too dark. You might need to turn the light on.
I'll have to turn the light on. Do I have to reach the switch? Is that still too dark? I bet it is.
Well, no, we can see it.
Oh, you can see it.
Yep.
On further
So there's the Akai S3000. Yeah. Let me hang on. Let me just make you. Let me make you full screen here.
Go on.
S3000 XL. Yep. Go down.
Yeah. And down. And down.
SO1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not going to try running it through them.
Do you know how to get sounds into that?
I've got it hooked up. Yeah.
Okay, so you just do it through the actual the audio inputs.
Well, yes. I do have a Scuddy zip drive for the XL3000. But I don't use them anymore. But I can't get rid of them.
Yeah, those things are amazing. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to. I mean, I'll be Dropboxing the stuff for Inky, so I can just share the Dropbox link to you. If you want to, you can play with it. What it will mean though is you would have to probably play it from your computer and record it in that way, one stem at a time. Might be a bit.
Yeah. Well, we'll
time-consuming.
see how Inky goes. Otherwise, you might not fit everything in the show. Otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. We've only got 2 hours, so we're coming up to that now anyway. So yeah,
2 hours now already.
Yes, very good. All right, guys. Speaking of 2 hours, we're just about hitting it now, and I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining the stream. For those who are new, it's really nice to see you guys. Please come back next week. It's cool to have you in chat and giving us all your opinions. So we love to see you again next week. Don't forget, it's every Saturday at 2 p.m. UTC time. Now, at the moment, I know in the UK it's daylight savings, so you've got to, add 1 hour, don't you? So it would be, in London, it'd be 3 o'clock, yeah. And over in the US, it would be 10 a.m. if you're in New York. And in Australia, it's 10 p.m. if you're on the west coast of Australia. And even later if you're over east. No one ever comes from over there. They're all out drinking at that stage. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. It was kind of cool how we had a bit of stuff from the past, a bit of stuff from the present, and yeah, see what we can do. Hopefully it's what you guys like. Let me know in the comments below. The video will be up to rewatch very soon. I'll make sure that's put public and live so you guys can rewatch it, and hope you guys can all come back next week. Bye, everyone. We're waving. Daren saying bye.
Bye.
Stream is
sampling that.
That's it. Stream is going off now. See you, everybody.